In this video I'm gonna show you how you can make people fly in Photoshop, so let's get started. Hey, what's up guys, Dhruval here, and in this video I'm gonna use this image and this background image that I found on deviantart.com. And if you want to use any of these images, the download link is in description, so feel free to use it. Now first of all, I found this image, the levitating image. They are really difficult to find on DeviantArt, and that's my favorite site. So this is pretty low resolution image compared to the other one, so this is the maximum size we can get. So I'm gonna, first of all, we have to cut her out from the background, and for that I'm gonna double click and unlock this thing, not an important step. Then you have to go and select your quick selection tool, this fourth one here, and then I'm gonna make a quick selection around her. Now most of the things will get selected automatically, like really simply. So just try to cover up as much as you can in quick selection, and if something doesn't work out, don't worry, we have solution for that. So just make a selection here, and as you can see, the image is really poor quality, like compared to the other images that we are going to use. So if you have some problem in the details, like there is this motion blur on the hand, and this thing will get covered in the lighting. And I really like the posture of this image, and like the way she has like gave the pose. You get the idea, like it's a really nice image worth working on, even though it's a low quality. So I'm gonna go and select my magnetic lasso tool, and I have selected the third option because I want to remove some selection from some areas. So I'm gonna start selecting here like this, because we don't need selection of that table no matter what. So I'm gonna go and make a selection of it, and as you can see, that is gone. And you can go another round real close this time. So just do this thing. It's a trial and error process, to be honest, and we are good to go. So most of the things are selected properly, and let's cover the leg. How did we miss this one? So let's go and finish this one, and a little bit on the hair side. So most of the things are covered, and this is well. So let's go and select magnetic lasso again, and we want to remove this portion. So I'm just gonna make a super quick magnetic lasso selection here, and we are good to go. That's perfect, like perfect for a low resolution image. And if you have trouble, you can check out my other videos which are specially for selection and hair cutting. So I'm not promoting them, they're actually really in-depth, so you can check them out. So the model is ready, and let's take this document out here, select your move tool from here, and just drag her in here, and there she goes flying in the air, whatever. So you can close this document or keep it for the backup, your wish. I'm gonna close it for the tutorial. Now as you can see, she is already flying. You put her here and voila, job's done. But we gotta make it look a bit better than that. So I'm gonna press Ctrl T, so this box will come up, and you can hold your Shift and Alt key to make her big like this. You can only use the Shift key, your wish. Just hold the Shift key, okay? Otherwise it will go ooh or something like that, and we don't want that. Now don't use Shift or Alt key for this step, okay? I'm gonna just squish her a little bit, okay? Not way too much, just a little, okay? That is perfect. I exactly wanted that one, so as you can see, now it's better. Now I'm gonna make her slightly smaller, and this is one important step, like because the proportion is very important for this effect. Let's go and see the original one. Okay, so it's still a bit smaller than that, so I'm gonna make her slightly smaller, and we're good to go. Now as you can see, the edges are not that great, and that's because one, image is low resolution, and second, we used a quick selection tool. So you can go with pen tool, and we seriously cannot do a really in-depth pen tool tutorial, but try pen tool if you have problem with this really rough edges, or use a high resolution image, your wish. So now for the hair part, no, not the selection tool. So for the hair part, select the layer mask, and then select your brush tool. Now in the brush options, you have this really weird looking brushes that we normally don't use, but this time we can use it, and it can take trial and error. Try using different one of these brushes and see which one works best. And all you have to do is just simply first add couple of things here and there like that, and then we are going to remove those things so that it blends better. Now since it is done, then I'm gonna use my black color instead of white, and then I'm gonna remove it from here like that. And you can always paint with white to bring that back. And now let's remove a couple of this thing here and there. So it's your personal choice how much time you want to spend. The more time you spend, obviously the better the output will be. You can mix it up with different brushes, whatever you want to do, your choice. Okay, so let's cover this up a touch more, and we are great to go. Okay, now that seems much better. And about these things, you can always like go select the regular brush, make it smaller, and then you can like this way you can go manually and remove the rough edges. A lot of people do it this way if they have low resolution image, so give it a shot. I'm not gonna do it on the whole image, so you have plenty of option to work with. Now since that is over, we need to add a shadow so that it looks a bit better. Okay, so this background layer, let's just unlock it for no reason, and then create a new blank layer on top of that. This is important step, don't forget to create a new blank layer. Okay, then select your, go here and this elliptical marquee tool, that's the round one. Okay, and then go and make a selection, something like this. Make sure it's oval and not a perfect round, like something like this. Okay, and once that is done, select your paint bucket tool, and then I'm gonna fill in the black color in that. Go to select and go to deselect, and then again go to filter, blur, and go to Gaussian blur, and add a bunch of blur until it looks really like it has to fade enough to look like a shadow and not something painted on the ground. So that seems actually pretty good, like it gives some depth to the character like that. And you can always like decrease a touch opacity, and you always have Control T, see, and you can always like play around, try using different style of shadows and stretch it slightly, and then again decrease the opacity to blend it better. It's your choice, you can do however the hell you want, just make it look good. Then we need to add some depth of field, like make the background blur in simple language. So select layer 0, right click, and then go to convert to smart object. And if you have CS5 or something older than that, it's not gonna work. So just make a duplicate of it, or just figure out some simple way. Okay, use masking, destructive way. So go to filter, blur, and then go to Gaussian blur. So in the Gaussian blur, that's okay, she is already apart from the background but that's way too much, and I think this amount should be enough, like 25 or something like that. Okay, the 20 should be enough, and then hit OK. Now it obviously looks fake because the foreground is also blurry. So we have this mask here. Select your brush tool, a regular S round brush, right click, hardness 0, let's make it bigger, and I'm gonna use my big bracket key to make it bigger, and then I'm gonna remove it with the black color here. So as you can see, now the background is blurry, the foreground is not, and it will look much better this way. I wanna add something, so let's go and add something in the like here, blurry, and that looks awesome. So as you can see, the image has already started taking some kind of shape. Now it's time to add the sun. So how do we add the sun? Create a new blank layer, select your like paint bucket tool, fill in the black color, go to filter, render, and then go to lens flare. And the lens flare, make sure it's in completely center, and I'm gonna go with 105 mm prime because it has less details, and then change its blending mode to screen. Now let's adjust it a touch here. Okay, now it looks more like a white light than a sun because it doesn't have that orangish soft feeling in it. Now does it? So to add that, you have to go to image, adjustment, and then go to hue saturation, and at first it won't do jack shit, like seriously. So go and select colorize, and then increase the saturation so you can see the color properly. Now make it orange unless your sun is green or blue. That looks cool, by the way. You can try it for some different effect, but this one is here. I'm gonna go with some slightly orange plus yellowish tint. It's all about personal choice. It's always about the personal choice. So that actually looks really good, to be honest. But the foreground is like blue, the sun is yellow, doesn't match up now, does it? So make sure you are on top of your background layer and select this one, and then select hue and saturation, and then drag this thing to all the way to 180. Nothing else, that's it. Like, that's the only thing you have to do. And you can always like play around with lightness and stuff, but that doesn't work in this video, okay? So for this file, so that seems nice, but as you can see, it is also changing the color here. But tantana, we have a mask here. So select your brush tool and the black color and remove it from here. Now it's for the people who wants like the original color of the building if they are practicing, but I thought the blue one was looking really nice, so I just turned down my opacity to like 40%, and I painted back a couple of things with white color and kept the bluish feeling of the image, just in case, you know. I just loved the way the blue color worked. Like, it looked nice, okay? That's it. That's the simple reason behind it. But you know what, for the sake of tutorial, let's go and just completely remove it so that the people like can see what output they can get with it. So I'm just gonna simply remove this thing from here, whatever, you get the idea. So that's there, and you can always like tweak around. Let's go and add slightly bit more saturation so that it looks even nicer. And that's it. Like, that's the basic layout. As you can see, is perfectly ready. Now it's time to adjust the color on our subject, the model. So to do that, I'm gonna go and create a new adjustment layer and select curves. Now in the curves, first of all, I'm gonna make a dot here on my shadows so that they don't get affected, and then I'm gonna bring down the highlights. Now as you can see, the model is looking fine, but the background is also getting affected. So I'm gonna click on this little icon here, and that will only affect the layer below it. So now if I turn it on and off, as you can see, only the model gets affected. So I'm gonna turn down the highlights a bit so that it matches better with the overall image. As you can see, now it looks much better. It looks like studio, but now not anymore. So let's go and select the red one, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of red. That's way too much. So let's go and add slight amount of red, and then I'm gonna go to blues, and then I'm gonna add the opposite of blue, which is yellow. So I'm gonna add a touch yellow, not way too much. You can always come back and change after the final output is ready. It's always up to the final output, like once you apply everything, and then you have to tweak a couple of things here and there. So that's there, and you can always, like, as you can see, now it looks much better. And I'm gonna go to my lens flare, and then I'm gonna go to adjustments, image, and then I'm gonna go to brightness contrast, and then I'm gonna add a bit more brightness because I think that sun seems a little bit dull, okay? So that's nice, and I'm gonna also adjust it a bit on the top. Now it's awesome. Now I'm gonna show you a really cool trick to match her color with the background. So how do you do that? You have this layer mask here which has already a cutout of her. So hold down your control key and click on the thumbnail of the mask here. See, right there. Now go to your layer 0, the background one, and then press Ctrl J. So if I want to show you, let's shut down everything. As you can see, it has made a shape of the model with the background layer. It is a copy of it, okay? So let's turn everything back on, and now put this layer on top of everything. Now go to filter, blur, and then go to average. So it will create an average color of the overall image. Then change its blending mode to soft light, and this will make her look much better in the background. As you can see, the colors are there, but they are not matching up, but now they do. And I'm also gonna like turn down the opacity a little so that it can also match with the original model image. So that's there. And then I'm gonna again go back here to my layer 3 image adjustment, and then go to brightness contrast and add even more brightness, something like that, so we can have that magical feeling. It's all about trial and error, I promise. And then go to adjustment, and then go to hue saturation, and then add a bit more saturation, not way too much, otherwise, well, doesn't look good, nothing else. And then a touch more saturation. Now I'm happy with it, probably. I promise I won't change. So that's there. Now in the beginning, I completely forgot about to tell you that I'm also gonna use a texture which is here that suddenly appeared. So I found this one also on DeviantArt, and if you want to use it, the download link is in description. You guys have the idea by the time now. So I'm just gonna press Ctrl A, then I'm gonna press Ctrl C to copy it, come here, and then I'm gonna press Ctrl V to paste it. Now that is really small texture, but it's a texture, so we can stretch it, you know, like further than its limits. So I'm gonna rotate it, as you can see, and then I'm gonna confirm it, as you can see, something like that. Now change its blending mode to screen first, so we'll get rid of all the black color, because screen color will remove the like it will not show the black color. So that's there. Now you have to it's already rasterized, so you don't have to worry about, but if it is, right click and select rasterize if it's not. Okay, then go to image, adjustment, and then I'm gonna go to levels. Now in the levels you gotta adjust it so that the fringing goes away and the actual lines in the texture, they appear brighter. Just play around a little, to be honest, you know. And then let's turn it on and off. As you can see, yes, the fringing has gone away, and that looks actually pretty good. And then I'm gonna push the whites even more so that the texture looks even stronger, and that looks pretty good. Hit OK. Now you can remove it from the couple of places, obviously mask. So I'm gonna apply a layer mask, select my brush, and using a really soft round brush, I'm gonna remove it from her dress a little here. Don't remove it completely, leave a little bit of things here and there like that on leg or stuff like that. I almost removed everything though. And then remove it from here and there, and then decrease the opacity so that it blends even better. The texture should look like it's there, but it should not be the only thing that looks like appears in your image. So just play around until it looks nice. The original one took me like a couple of error, but you get the idea. So this looks really nice. Now it's time to do some color corrections, and to do that go to your adjustment layers and select, where is it, curves. And in the curves the image feels a bit flat, so I'm gonna add some contrast in it. So increase your highlights and then decrease your shadows, and it will create a really nice contrast. As you can see, that looks beautiful. If you are a contrast lover, if you like hazy feeling, just ignore this step. And then I'm gonna go and jump back to my blues and create old cliche vintage feeling, like a touch, not way too much. So I'm gonna add slightly blue, slightly yellow, and then if I turn it on and off, it completely changes the image. And then I'm gonna go back to RGB and then control this a bit because that's a little bit too strong for my taste. So go there and let's turn it on and off. It looks awesome. Now we're gonna create two more curves, and that is to adjust the colors. Now this is a little bit advanced. If you get confused, you can skip it. If you're a beginner, not a big deal, but if you're interested, just keep watching. So create a new adjustment layer and select curves. Now first of all, I'm gonna make it brighter like that. Now once it is brighter, select this one, select your paint bucket tool and fill in the black color. So now, as you know, the brightness is still there, but it is hidden under the black color. So now go and select your brush tool, and then I'm gonna go with white color, and wherever you think it is way too darker, I'm gonna just start painting. But the regular 100% opacity will look unnatural, so I'm gonna go and turn it to 40% or something like that. So let's go and start painting now. So as you can see, where you think it's way too darker, you can always like adjust the colors a touch, maybe here a little bit, so that, and also in the lighting here, so that the background also looks really nice. And if you don't like it, you can always like remove it. It's all your personal choice, just like that. And that one looks actually really good to me. If it doesn't look good to you, just, you know what, do something else. And I don't want levels. Actually, I wanted to go with one more curves, and then this time, you guessed it, I'm gonna make it darker. So as you can see right here, it also looks really dramatic feeling. You can remove things from the dress and use it, but we are going for a bit more like neutral look. So go and select this one, and you can also directly press Ctrl I instead of filling in black color every time. Now this time I'm gonna go with my white color and paint on her to like make her slightly darker and give it that feeling, that punchy yellowish color on her. And then I'm gonna remove some things from her dress, so that as you can see, this thing was completely blacked out. So I'm going to remove that from there, a little bit from here, and also I'm going to remove that from the final curves because that's just way too dark and the details are lost. So I'm going to remove it from there too. So now if I turn these things on and off, as you can see, it makes tremendous difference and gives it a different look. If you don't like it, don't use it. If you like it, use it. And for the final step, I'm gonna go and create one more curves. I promise this is the last one. Curves layer, and then I'm gonna go and increase this slider a touch from here. Nothing, just it will like fill in the light where it is completely blacked out, and it will give it more subtle look. Nothing else. So as you can see, now it looks nice, and you can always go back and change around and screw around whatever the hell you want. I can add a bit more magenta if I like, and that actually looks really nice, to be honest. Touch magenta, not way too much. Great. That looks stupid. So whatever, you get the idea. Like, you can always go around and change anything you want. You have all the freedom. That's what I love about this work process. Everything is non-destructive. So that's there. So from where we started, so let's just go in here. So this is where we started, and this is where we are. So I really hope that you learned something from this video, and if you did, hit that like button, and if you have any questions or suggestions, you can ask me in the comment section below. Plus, if you want to check out more manipulation tutorials, you can click on any of these boxes. Plus, you can always subscribe, so every time I upload a new video, you will get an update. Plus, it will take you to my channel where I have more than 70 plus Photoshop tutorials for free, so check them out. Till then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with Photoshop.